tripods. So this is something where if you are on the East Coast, or maybe you have never actually glassed, a tripod is vital for utilization of actually being able to find those animals. Now, not every area that you hunt is going to be glassable. Some of it might be super thick and you're going to have to still hunt it. But for the most part, if you're executing a hunt plan, you are likely going to be going to the tippy tops of some areas and getting a good vantage point. And that is the goal of glassing, essentially, that you are not going in and blowing out a bunch of different areas where you don't actually know where the animals are. And you're essentially letting the glass do the work for you. So this is an interesting concept to a lot of folks. And having a tripod might be something that you've used before, or you might be absolutely brand new to it. So let's go through the basics of the tripod system and then essentially what you're doing with this thing. So a tripod, essentially as it is, it's got 3 legs. So you want to have those to be steady and level. The tripods that I use do have a bubble on them. So you're going to be able to find the bubble and you're going to be able to know if you are level on it. You have a 3-piece system to this, and these just rotate. So you're essentially just pulling these out as you go along. Okay, so you're pulling it out, and then you're going to do the other piece, so on and so forth. And then you're just tightening them to lock them. Okay, so super easy. There's a hook on the bottom of your tripod, so you might wonder what that is for. So a tripod, the closer it is to the ground, so let's pretend that this is the ground. The closer that these legs are to the ground, the more stable it is. So essentially, as you are glassing, or you're going to be glassing, you are going to want to be seated on the ground and glassing from here, because that's going to make you the most stable. A lot of guys want to stand and glass that way, and that is actually not a great way of going about it, because now you are extending it further and it's going to become more wobbly. And that is essentially the exact opposite of what you want, because you're trying to make this stable so you can see movement or any sort of flicker of an ear or an antler or whatever the case is that you are hunting. So the point is, this is stable so you catch the movement, because 85 to 90% of the time that's how you are going to see an animal, or it's going to be something sticks out like a sore thumb. For example, you're looking in the green and there's a brown butt that sticks out, right? Those are probably the most 2 common situations. But movement, for the most part, is going to be your number 1 thing. So that gives you the basics. So if you were on the ground, you're putting this on the ground, and you are extending it, you want to extend the largest leg first, okay? Not the thinnest, smallest leg first. Okay, that's rule number 1, because this is less stable than this leg. This leg is also the closest thing to the base, so therefore that is making it more stable. All right, so if I was sitting on the ground, I'm probably going to have this first leg out, and then I'm going to sit either around this, or my legs are going to be inside of this as it's on the ground, and I am glassing from there. Okay, so pretty simple. Now, on the top of this, you are going to have a plate. So you have a bunch of different little levers here that you're going to pull. The lever here that you see, this one on the side, is going to be the one that's going to loosen this plate. And there's a little red button that you can see on here. Okay, this little button is the one that will release it. So you're going to see this plate is moving left and right, but when you press the red button, it releases this plate. Okay, now why do you need this plate? Well, this plate is either going to attach to the base of your tripod, or it's going to attach to the base of your adapter. Okay, so if your kit has this adapter, that means that we're going to go over this in particular and attach it to your binoculars, which is going to be huge, because that's essentially how you get your binoculars onto the tripod, right? It's not like you're just setting them on top of this thing and hoping to God that they stay together. This is the key component to it. Okay, now spotting scopes, I will add, some of them already have a base to them that is called Arca Swiss compatible. This base of this tripod is Arca Swiss. So this plate is an Arca Swiss plate. Therefore, you will not need the plate for an Arca Swiss compatible spotting scope. But for anything else, let's say I'm attaching my camera that I'm videoing on, that has a plate already on the bottom to it, and therefore that's Arca Swiss compatible as well. If I didn't have that plate though, I would essentially be attaching some form of adapter system to the plate, okay? Or I would be screwing this plate directly into the bottom of my camera because it has that screw, which is a 1/4 20 thread that goes into the bottom of the camera. So the same deal, okay? So hopefully I'm not losing you too much, but that is a big part of it. Now, other things that you will see on the tripod here, you have this fancy little handle. Now this is a very, very high-end head, okay? And it rotates in multiple planes, okay? So you essentially are going to have the ability to go up and down, okay? So you're going to be able to move this up and down. You're also going to be moving it left to right, okay? So horizontal, vertical aspect. This handle here, if you unscrew this, is going to allow your handle to move out. So a lot of people will like to have this, including myself. I like to have this fully out, and I actually like to glass on this end, so my eyeballs would be looking into whatever scope or product here, and that way I can grid with this handle. Okay, so I can move my product up and down, left to right, and I can lock it. So that goes presenting to this other little lever here. I am essentially going to have my binoculars on here, a spotting scope. I'm looking through it, and then when I find exactly where I want to look, I'm going to tighten this, and now it's keeping it in that exact plane. And then what I'm going to be doing is just going left to right as I'm grid searching. Okay, so that is the premise of this whole thing. Lastly, you have a turn scenario here, turn lock, just like with the legs, and you can go up and down on the neck. Now again, the further you get this neck up, the less stable it is because it is further away from the base of the tripod. So I do as much as possible to keep this as low and this as low as possible when I am glassing. So if I can prevent it, I'm going to sit on the ground. I'm going to maybe extend these legs as much as I need to. And if I really have to, I'm going to extend this a little bit to get to the perfect height for my head, and that's it. Now again, if you are out of the truck, you're at the side of the road and you want to glass and you want to stand, just know that you are going to be very unstable or less unstable. And if you have wind, that wind is going to come up against, you got to think the thickest thing on this is going to be your binoculars or your spotting scope. So it is going to take as much of that wind out of this entire thing, meaning it's going to cause shakes. So again, the whole point of this is to not shake at all. Very hard to do, but it is going to make your visibility incredible if you're using this properly. Okay, so when I'm done with this, I am moving this arm down. I'm going to have this plate stuck on here regardless, and I'm going to lock it in place. So if I'm showing you here, this is going to lock it in place, this little lever, and now this is not moving at all. And I technically could have my binoculars attached at the top, and you know, I could literally throw this in my pack or the side of my pack with the way that it's attached. So anyways, if you have questions, let me know, but that is the Cliff's Notes basic level version of how to utilize a tripod like this.